Okay, to continue with what I was talking about with static classes, I'll just look at that again here, and then we'll demonstrate client classes and private and public access, as well as work more with this keyword. Okay, so you get a better understanding of the keyword this. But again, to recall here, when I was talking about static methods and variables or fields, I created instances of instance counter, object 1 and object 2. Okay, I did want to show you making use of the because object 1 is an instance of instance counter, and a string is not a static field. Okay, that object gets access to a string as well as to a number, because those are not static fields. Okay, so I can print out a string, whatever was assigned when I instantiated object 1. And if you look here, I'm calling the constructor new instance counter. And then here I have some grades A, B, C, D, E, F, and I randomly select an index, math random times grade length. Okay, so let's see here, the length is 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that will return a number from 0 to 4. And then I'll use that number as an index into the string array grade. Now, it randomly picks one of those grades, and then it randomly assigns a number from 0 to 100. Alright, and so when I run this, you'll see whatever value was assigned to a string. But then what I'll do is I'll also print out just object 1. And again, that's going to print the location of the object in memory. It's going to print the memory location. I'll also call object 1 print this here. Okay, so again, that returns this. Well, this again refers to the object in memory. So this should be the same here. And then I'll print the memory location for object 2. And then again, I'm demonstrating there that object 2 is an instance of instant counter, and a number is not static, so each object will get a string and a number as well, because those are not static fields. Okay, so here, so I'll run this here. And then, so let's see here. So okay, so line 65 system, I'll print line object 1 a string, so you see a string there. So it was F, that was the value. And then print line object 1, notice here is printing the memory location of that object. And then print this, so the keyword this refers to the location of the memory location of the object being worked with. And then I print the memory location for object 2. Okay, and that's there. And then a number was assigned 68 when that object was created with the constructor there. Okay, so again, I didn't want you to notice, so by default, when you print this, it's going to print the memory location. All right, and just printing out object 1 and object 2 also just prints the memory location. All right, so now here, so now we're going to look at client classes. Okay, demonstrating a client class. So what is a client class? Okay, if you did your reading, it says that a client class, a class that uses a given class, X is called a client of X. And so I've created another class called outside class, and it has both a private and public variable. Here's my constructor for outside class. Every time I create an outside class, it gets a number, it gets assigned 15. And then I have method. I have a method set another number, and then a method print outside class this, so that will print this here, which again will be the memory location. And now here, and then I have a method update instance value. So this will actually update the number of instances of instant counter, that class, okay, which is not an object, it's a class. Remember, instance counter is a class with static fields and variables, but it's going to call that method update num instance, passing in 100, and where's update num instances, and it's just going to increment the number of instances by whatever I pass in. So let me make this bigger here. Okay, so again, this is demonstrating client classes here. So, all right, so I instantiate outside class outside one is equal to new outside class. And in here, you'll see I do a print line out one, so that's going to give me the memory location then of that class that was created. And then I'll also call the method print outside class this. And notice here, I'm going to print out. So this, again, this keyword refers to the memory of the object being worked with, the memory location. They should be the same. So when I go line 79, print line out one, and then print outside class this, call that method. The two memory locations should be the same. And then what I'll do is I'll call the toString method, because I'll show you can override the toString method. I'll call the method another for out one. A number is equal to 5. And so what will that do? A number. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, I'll assign a number is equal to 5 and out another number. So I want you to notice here that because another number is public, instance counter automatically gets access to it. Okay, so this client class gets access to it because another number was declared public. Not the preferred way to do things in Java. You always want to declare instance variables as private, and then if you want to get access or change those instance variables, you would create a public method that would allow you to do that. Okay, so for example, set another number. Okay, and that's going to just change the value of a number for that object. Okay, and this is not necessary. I could just as well avoid that, but by referencing this here, it really basically, because this method is already associated with the object created in memory, this is somewhat redundant. Okay, because this always refers to the object in memory. All right, and so let's see here. So let's see here. Print that. Okay, so let's just do this here and then set another number 10. All right, so let's run this here. So I'm going to create a new class out one, print out the memory location, show you that if I print it from within the class, it's going to print out the same memory location, and then I'll call the toString method. I'll update the public variable, and then I'll update the private variable. And so maybe it would be helpful to, because let's see here in the constructor, what do we assign? We assign a number which is private to 15. And so when I change it to 10, it should be 10. So let's do this here. So when I call it, why don't I do this here? So system out, no, yeah, out, print ln, and I won't have access to OUT. I won't have access to, I want to get access to a number. So let's see here. Why don't I do this? So public return integer the A number, oops, and I'll return a number because a number is private, and I want to see what it is as I run this. Okay, so now if I could go here, let me save this here. Now the A number, was that the method I wrote? Yeah, the A number, maybe. Yeah, I'll just leave it that way. Okay, so now I can print that out. The A number. And let's see here, then I'll print out the memory location, set A number to 10, and I'll change that again. So print out A number. Okay, so let me do this here first. Let me print out that number, and then we'll look at doing things with this in the memory location. All right, so here we go. Let me hide all of this here because I don't really need this now, I don't think. I never know. Nope, no errors. All right, we're just working with client classes, so let's look here. But it's, for some reason, it says I got an error, and I don't know why. No, maybe not. Maybe something else there. Okay, so here, so we instantiated out one outside class. We print out a number. Okay, demonstrating a client class. We print out a number, which is 15. And then we print out one. So out one. So it's just basically returning the default two-string method, which is just going to give us the memory location. And then I say print this from inside of outside class. So when I call that method print outside class this here, it's going to system out print line this here. So that should be the same memory location. Okay, so which it is. So D3709. And then I'll call the two-string method. And again, you'll see by default the two-string method returns the same thing as if I just set out one, which is the memory location. And then I set another number to 5. I guess I should have printed that out. But now I set another number to 10. And you see that now a number is now 10. So the only way I got access to that private variable was using this setter method. Which was this here, the a number. Okay, actually that was a getter method. All right, so that's demonstrating client classes. So we would say instance counter is a client of outside class. All right, and so what I also, so I did want to show you though, but again, every time I call this here, this particularly, where was that? Oh, print outside class, the system out print line. This again is returning the memory location of that object I'm working with. Okay, and because another number was not declared private, I can automatically update. I don't need a getter and setter for that. I have instant access to it, which is not the preferred way to do things in Java. Most instance fields should be made private. Okay, so but it did want, so now, so by default the two-string method always just returns the same thing, that basically it returns a memory location. Okay, it points, but you can't override. You can't override the two-string method, and I did here. And so by overriding the two-string method, okay, rather than printing the memory location, which I did, now it's going to print return this class A number value. So let me run that and you'll see that. Okay, so now this class A number value. Calling toString method this class A number, so I overrode the toString method of that class. And then the last thing I wanted to illustrate here was going back to static field for instance counter. I'm going to call this method, and what that's going to do is it's going to update instance counter. It's going to update, actually not instance counter, but it's going to update num instances. See, when I call this method update instance value, it's going to update. Instance counter was a client class, and it's going to update num instances. Okay, and so here, so let me call that. And again, I'm illustrating the fact that if you want access to static fields or static methods, you have to call the class name. Okay, so let me go here. So what I'll do now, because that's Alt 1, if I go System, so let me do this. I'm going to call that method. And that was, oops, and that was update instance value. Alt 1, update instance value. And then what I'll do, okay, so what was it? Oh, okay, let's see here. Okay, because I'm not returning anything. Okay, so I guess I just have to call that because it's not returning anything. So there. All right, so now what I'll do is I'll system out print line, and now I'll go num. Let's see here, num instances. Okay, and I need access, so it has to be instance counter. Num instances. All right, and then that should print. So that should print 100 because I have not created any instances of instance counter. Or no, I did 5. Created 5 there, but then that's just going to overwrite that, and it should be 100. So let's see here. Ooh, 105. Oh yeah, because when I call this method here, update num instances, it does increment, doesn't it? Update num, yeah, num instances plus equal a value. So it's adding 5 and 100, and that is giving me 105 for the output. Yeah, so that's an overview of static fields and methods. The keyword this, toString, client classes, public and private instance fields, and accessors, getters and setters. Right.